This video shows the next level mock-up, and this is a summary view of the overall mock-up. Just a quick scan to give you a picture of what we'll be walking through. Off in the corner, the black cart represents the air handling unit. The pallets represent walls that piping will be passing through. On the cart, marked on the cardboard, shown by my fingers, are the approximate height of the suction line and liquid line connections. You can see the 3 elbows to the right, and then these 2 elbows to the left represent the 2 connection points. This elbow comes out, the second one turns to run down the housekeeping pad. These markings match a drawing that I've provided to site with my estimates for the length. The question here is whether the piping actually turns down at the end of the housekeeping pad or whether it continues running straight. There are a few extra elbows on this side to come out and then turn along the underneath the junction box of the unit, and then another elbow to turn in parallel with the other lines from the other module. This shows running 30 feet of length down the trench. Again, that length needs confirmed by site. 2 elbows on the outside, one to turn up and one to turn into the building, and then another one to make the turn along the internal wall. This pallet shows the wall separating the adjacent room with the mechanical room. And then inside the mechanical room, the piping that's laying on the ground there is running in between the air handler and the wall. We show approximately 7 liquid line elbows and 3 suction elbows, and we'll walk through that. My finger's pointing to the liquid line connection, and now at the bottom, the suction line connection on the air handler. Again, the cart represents the air handler. This is a tour of the isolation valves, the 3 isolation valves required around the liquid line filter dryer. The normal path will be down through the filter dryer, up and around, past the liquid line solenoid valve, and then past the moisture indicator. Here's a tour coming down the liquid lines, turning up, turning over, going into the bottom connection, out of the top connection, back over, and again the hash mark lines are showing an elevation up level with this liquid line connection at the air handler. That would allow a technician to crawl in and change the filter dryer. Here's a tour where we show the other connection to the other liquid line factory assembly. Piping is over and again elevated up at the height of that lower connection, turning, coming out through the electronic expansion valve. There'd be another electronic expansion valve, and my finger points to the approximate position right there. So that'd be where the other electronic expansion valve in the second circuit is placed. I only showed one here as part of the mock-up. And for this line, we turn, go along the air handler, and then make the final turn into the unit. So you can count along with this video and do your own piping takeoff to see if it matches what I've done. In this photo, we've shifted to the suction line connections. We see coming out of the suction line connection, past a pressure transducer port, past the required liquid line isolation valve with a test port on that valve, turning and going down back to the condensing units. These are photos of the loose material that's being provided. Again, we need to confirm the takeoff for number of elbows and line lengths so that we can make sure we have enough insulation that's shown here, as well as sufficient line length sets. This photo is of the electronic expansion valve control panel. This control panel will mount beyond the 2 liquid line factory assemblies adjacent to the supply fan. Again, along the same wall that the liquid line factory assemblies were shown in our mock-up, but a little bit further down on the other side of the supply fan module.